You know, we start the same way we started Miramar on day one, southwest.
It's only fitting that we would be heading right back there. Certainly a lot of teams up to the northeast going to be regretting their drop pass. But with this plane, we didn't really see many teams able to at least get up to that northwestern position as well, where we have seen teams go to in the past.
I just keep seeing that OMG sign on the table.
Great.
I'm hoping they're okay with that. It's like, you know, we just play, we gamble, you know.
By the way, we own your logo. It's an asset now.
No, I see it there every single time I play it too. I just come into the casino, I'm like, huh. Oh my God.
You go in there
Look
to
at
try
that
your
sign.
luck? Or trying to win some money in game. Gen G going to be in that Impala area. These guys have landed there every Miramar game that we've seen them, and they don't really have any issues with their rotations. So, you know.
Yeah, hey, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
There's so much space to rotate around. You got the western side, and very few teams, we especially saw them yesterday, went through the southern access of the circle.
Right.
Like almost no one seems to want to run that coastal road unless they were forced down into it, and that's actually something that Gen G did do on Miramar on day one. But so far, no one's being run over by their own vehicles. No one's being fully tested. MVP, we're watching them head to the northern part of the circle. They're actually going to go all the way up to El Pozo.
Yeah, they're not going to want to pull off of that just yet. The plane path didn't give them the easy route up to El Pozo via parachute, but they've all found vehicles, at least for the most part, and colliding with one another, but they will be making their way up north to have that.
That would be beautiful. He just launches, stays on top. It's just like, you know what? We found ourselves a new vehicle. We can combine. Right. We are the Transformers.
The hybrids.
MVP in disguise.
Or Power Rangers, or, you know, something.
Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Come on. Transformers or Power Rangers?
Yeah, you know. Well, I see where our dichotomy is, right? You go for Transformers, I go for Power Rangers.
I just want to do that. Let's give everybody a ring and give them the power of heart.
That's exactly right. But we talked about this southern highway along sort of where Ghost Gaming is. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw Gen G and Ghost Gaming opt to take cars along this route. Certainly we saw them favor that on day one of our finals. So a repeat of that strategy should likely be in store for those guys.
I like how Entis go all the way to the north. Like it's a very long way forward. Like this is Tempo Storm currently looting up at El Hazar. So
I asked you where they were.
If I butcher it hard enough, no one will know that I'm just like I have too many weird, quirky names for all these places.
Let them fly.
Apart from this one, the Hacienda del Patron.
Oh, yeah, that was actually very well pronounced.
No, I thank you.
Yeah,
I spent a lot of time and effort because I dropped there every time.
Okay.
I'm like, where are we going, boys? Hacienda.
Doesn't even matter, going straight to Hacienda. So if you find yourself in a public game and you do end up in Hacienda, look for Toby.
Or Big Boy's house.
Yeah,
Big Boss house.
Oh, Big Boss
house. It's the Big Boss house.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's where the good swag is kept.
The good swag.
Oh. Everyone will have to start moving in about 2 minutes' time. For now, no one's standing on each other's toes. Everyone's, actually, Genji's probably the furthest one out. Like, Simpsons has gone over to La Bandita, so he's close to X-Chris, but not that close. Of course, there's a Method player just out by his little lonesome, passing somebody else, because this is the way Method rolls.
Yeah, Method has been dropping very interestingly over the course of the last few days. Very spread out along the sort of the center mass of Miramar, but they've been reuniting. They've been doing okay with this strategy, so why switch it up now? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I think it was Avenger I was talking to about it yesterday, 2 days ago, and he's just like, they just don't know the map that well, but they just like, so you see where the circle shifts, and then they always have a hill. Yeah. And it's like, as long as we have a hill, we have half-decent vision from here, we'll just play from there. And it did work well for Method on day one, even though, of course, they did hit a couple of snags, and they had the same kind of thing with the Rangel too.
Yeah, I mean, that's really one of the kind of, I think that's a cool part about Miramar is the fact that there are intricacies about this map that teams have mastered on Erangel, but haven't necessarily found every little bit and piece that they could utilize on Miramar to get that advantage. We've seen players opting to get on elevated positions on top of buildings that we once thought was not possible, but hey, you know, you put your mind to it, Toby. You put the practice in, and you're going to be finding these spots. Speaking of finding things, Gustav QQ going to be finding a nice crate, ghillie suit M249. But the real takeaway is that level 3 kit.
Yeah, it's the level 3 kit. The M249 on this map, like, sure, maybe you get close enough. Cloud9, this is an easier way to do it. It's going to be bait. The drop came down, and Cloud9 saw it. They wanted to have a crack at it. Optic aren't too far away as well. It's just all about who can claim it. No, for Moody, they can at least take the hillside for now.
Yeah, and FaZe is probably going to be trying to reunite with Gustav Kiku at this point in time. Moody going to be spotting out some of the members of Optic, taking some shots, just trying to control a dominant position on this hill as more and more teams will be opting to make their way in, as the blue zone will now be shrinking on circle number 1.
Yep. Woo! I love the sound of that car.
Yeah, we were talking about just slam the emergency brake, get some revving going to really instill that fear in your enemies.
This is called Tokyo Drift. That's the new map. Everyone thought Snow Map's coming up next, but actually it's Tokyo, everybody. Moody's in a little bit of trouble now behind the crate. He's got some protection from Hypok's aim. And also some time just to loot up and Gilly run. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Level 3, protect me. Oh, actually, protect Moody a lot more. He actually has to wait inside the smoke, hoping that Hypok will run out of bullets. Now go, 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 go. Good hustle.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, we didn't see Nerf throwing any shots back, trying to provide some overwatch or some safety for Moody to at least retreat off of that. Ultimately, he was able to get out of that position with only 10% of his HP, so inside of this elongated building and pop the meds.
I wonder how much of that level 3 armor has now been kind of messed with. We're a little too early for everyone to have a whole bunch of grenades, so a small little combat examples nearby. Elite player. Just because Valiant in place. Oh, okay, I take it back. Elite player, he's there for the underarm toss. We're going softball style, and it's almost on the money. That's about 3. I don't even want to give it 5. 3%. But it is 3 players from M19 surrounding him. They know he's inside the smoke. No risk play. Second grenade being committed. Underarm, maybe a little bit too far. Nah, right on target.
Yep, they knew someone was in the smoke, so why not put out that area of effect damage, that pressure that the grenades are so known for.
Oh, is he punching him? Punch him, punch him.
Oh, yeah. We saw a lot of BM in the previous few games.
Hey, there's no teabagging before the kill, at least.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
We have to go back down those lines.
Switching a little bit. But hey, we mentioned it earlier. Here is Ghost going to be opting to ride along that southern highway from the eastern position to rotate their way in west of the circle.
Highway. I'm gonna ride it all night long.
If you're going my way, Toby, you don't know the rest of the lyrics.
No, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
We almost had our karaoke
I only ever hear
moment.
The samples. I don't pay for the full songs.
Okay, fair, yeah.
Paying for songs.
That's after the 30-second blip. Okay, gotcha. No worries.
Oh, that's great. He did look very stylish on the bike. I like the bike shot more than anything else.
Yeah, did look good. So Blue Zone's still going to be shrinking in on our players on circle number 1. We're starting to see those far rotations, specifically from OGN, who opted to go up towards Campo Militar and Torre Ahumada, going to be rotating down from the north, right behind Liquid. Welcome to South George. MVP needs to make their way down as well. Tipo Storm off to the northeast. Also, quite a long transition for these guys. Yeah,
it's a long way to come in, as it looks like Allergen running into Bahawaka. Optic picking up one themselves. McCoy's not too far away. He's a little bit down the hill, but it's just the early split that's up. M19 and Ghost and Optic, they're all kind of just saying hello to each other as Turtle is doing the dash, the left and right dash, as fast as he can go up the hill inside the cover and just makes it towards the rock.
Yeah, so if you've been kind of tuning in over the last few days in our qualifier stage and our first 2 days of finals, you sort of recognize the fact that Allergen seems to go down a lot for Ghost, but that is almost a product of their strategy that they're employing here. Allergen, one of the newer players to their squad, going to be going out and scouting a lot, letting the other 3 OG members of Ghost employ that synergy.
Gotta feel so sorry for Larson. WTSG have had probably one of their worst tournaments here, and he's normally that great aggressor pusher, the one that makes space for WTSG, but this is now the 2nd or the 3rd time we've seen him dying very early on just today. Definitely not the dream that WTSG were looking for, and a couple of other casualties across the field as everyone is still pushing their way in. WTSG are going to get sandwiched on the top. MVP, they always love that northern side of the circle. Play the edge and rip apart anyone that comes towards you. And both WTSG and Entus seem to be going that way.
Right, and they really haven't seen any threats on that northern side of the circle. Most of the time, these teams from the north end up bombing down towards the central mass of circle number 1. So MVP just kind of sits up north, waits for the circle shift to come out, and avoid taking any casualties in the process.
Yeah, at least 9 says they're actually holding their ground for once on that northern side. Voxix moved over a little bit further to the side, so he's spaced out. But this is that bombing you're talking about. Liquid just going straight over the mountainside away from Knights. MVP will come in around the back of them, but welcome to South George. And Entus are also coming in too. It's going to get very, very clustered on the northern side.
Yeah, Montenuevo already drawing a lot of attention. We can see some shots on the map coming out from Knights right now, just trying to catch out Liquid in transition. Jeem's going to be on that motorcycle, trying to get over these hills. You can see him kind of going up and down, just trying to navigate this terrain.
They look real close on the map, but then you see this, you realize just how far apart they are. So hard to choke point.
Yeah, certainly. But one of the things that Miramar lends itself to, these long-range shots, just because of how wide open the map is.
Yeah. Condense it. Where are we going? Southeast. We're going right on top of Chewy. Method already in there, and everybody else starts the quick progression. A lot of unclaimed compounds to the northern side, and this is real good news for all those northern teams. Maybe not so great for Bahawaka. As Batulans looking for the shot to actually connect. Difficult down the line. Not 8 times. We would have hoped he had it 4 times instead, but the long run, the long drive, and he's away.
He is away. Knights Voxic going to be holding off on this hill. Certainly hearing the bike from Gaxi rolling around, going to be taking up shelter possibly in this compound. So a lot of information going out from these teams as they're making their way down to the southeast. Shots coming out left and right, though, as Gen G going to be spotting out the members from Ghost. Yeah,
Ghost actually pushing in deep, but they want to try and get into the town. As we'll be bouncing back out again. Hopefully we'll connect in just a moment. That's Liquid. That's why we have a backup to the backup to the backup.
16 backups, or something massive like that.
So Liquid are running the northern pass. Chewy is becoming very clustered. Ghost, Method, and Cloud9 are all inside, while Optic and Avanga are on that bottom edge. But it's Liquid who are the ones who are in trouble. Your boy Dre capitalizing. Knocking down the Beatsa. We're not going there this day.
Dre needs to be incredibly careful here, though, because his other 3 teammates, Zampa, Maluk, and BenQ5, have already made that transition into the southeastern circle. So if the other members of Liquid pull up...
going to get him?
Yeah, it's quite possible that your boy Dre going to be spotted out here if they're able to recover off of this.
This is such a huge save, but your boy Dre, he's preparing the grenade. They're right behind the tree. The nade toss, it looks long, and it is long. Bounces over the top of their heads. So Beatsa up, and they're trying to retreat, but there's a second nade from your boy Dre. A second up will be required from Scoom. At the same time, your boy Dre knocked out by Samty, so Liquid, the cover is there. That's called teamwork.
Yeah, that's going to be the only threat eliminated right there. But Ibiza losing a lot in the process. His attrition game going to be hurting as they move into the mid to late game. Welcome to South Georgia, though. We can see them in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen trying to breach into this building where MVP's Alpaca is currently holding.
Yeah, he needs to hold this up quite nicely. Ending that last little fight, your boy Dre did actually get all the way down. So no more round for him, but Alpaca, the grenade, Gaxi cooks it to perfection, but doesn't manage to get into the right room, so Alpaca, he kind of will want to switch this. That one should be in the right room. He's actually on the top of the stairs. So cover available for Alpaca on both sides. And a very difficult entry point for WTSG.
Yeah, pretty much the best spot that Alpaca could currently hold in that building, just waiting for the impending rush coming out from Welcome to South George. Gaxi in through the window, going to be starting it off. Leading the charge, though, going to be giving his body right up to Alpaca. The shot's not connecting immediately, though.
Oh, he
so he's forced to retreat.
Tries to clean out the room, wants to jump out the side, but gets knocked out. Gaxi will be in the cover because he's already in the bathroom. Finishes the job, and Alpaca is cleaned out. But the rest of MVP were moving over. They won't arrive in time, however. WTSG own the compound.
Yeah, and here we have FaZe positioning themselves on top of this hill, trying to get these favorable lines of sight down onto the Knights. They saw them make this rotation up to this compound, just trying to reunite with one another, and now Texas, a little bit split off from the other 3 members of Knights, needs to do something to get into this compound. Yempty's Car 98 aimed directly onto Voxic.
Yeah, you actually might want to stay out there. We do know that Texas likes to play that more of aggressive kind of movement role. Sometimes it bites him in the butt, but on day 2 was actually the greatest thing they could have had. He was getting more kills than anybody else that day. So he'll remain where he is, give the a little bit of extra angle. But you are right, FaZe have a very good angle down on top of Knights. So difficult to poke out and just get that quick shot for the Knights.
All right, Blue Zone going to be pushing in on circle number 2, so about 45 seconds until we're going to be able to find out if the Knights have to push out of this position, because if they do, FaZe is going to be right there to stop them from any more forward progress here in game number 3 of the day.
Yeah, that circle will be the ultimate pressure. Looks like Young Tan able to get a knock as WTSG come in through the northeast corner. That's where FaZe MVP as well as the freshly arrived Entus are. And they are inside, barely, on that corner. Everyone else is in. Everyone else is very comfortable with just counting down the 16 seconds before we see the new circle.
And pretty much everyone just holding still, not trying to risk too much in the process. A lot of movement coming out from Liquid around the map, but MVP, the 2 men left of this squad, just going to be holding out in this compound. Blue Zone, though, almost done with that shrink. Circle number 3 will be popping up, and here it goes up to the northeast.
Okay, so Liquid are actually going to be very, very happy with this. They hold 2 of the main compounds on the northeast corner, and there's not many other options for both FaZe, MVP, and Enters who need to rotate into the circle. In fact, their only way is really to go through the Knights. The Knights are popping off a hell of a lot of shots, so they know exactly where they are. And FaZe, maybe this is when we get to see that movement, which they were displaying pretty nicely earlier today. Attack, maneuver, fight.
Yeah, FaZe made it into the late game with all 4 alive in our previous game, but can they repeat that here? Because when they have all 4 members alive, FaZe is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Vanguard, though, going to be making their own rotation off to the southeast of Chumacera right now, where a lot of shots coming out from M19, but a lot of shots being put in return on M19 as Bachelin going to be knocked from Loki.
This is the Gen G battle. They want to come in through the southeast, but Vanguard and M19, it's a 3-way crossfire. And Ghost are also getting involved too. Sure, why not? If you're in the neighborhood, let off a bullet. Let's have a quick look at this again from Loki. Shoot, shoot, and in the back, Betrayal.
Yeah. Bachelin was trying to make it around that corner of the mountain, unable to do so. The quick shots coming out and finding their connections. Able to be res, though, his teammate Constantine able to pick him up. But these 2 CIS teams, M19 and the Vanguard, going to be colliding on each other in a matter of moments as Gen G just holding down in this compound, sending out Wicked to maybe do a little bit of a flank, get some different angles to put out that information.
It's actually a horrible spot for a Vanguard when you think about it. M19 can just easily move into the compound, and there's so much cover to move in and around. There's no way a Vanguard can hold it. So they're already heading down the hill. They understand this. They have to get into Chewy to actually hold that spot. 4AM actually have the best vision of any of the teams at the moment, just sitting over on the church on the eastern side. But this is a nightmare. Close combat, very difficult to ensure that you come out on top. Because X-Chris, small gap in the wall, able to bring down McCoy the whole way.
Yeah, Ghost Gaming landed on the eastern side of Miramar to start off the match, but they're going to be rotating into Chumacera. These are the 2 teams that have been holding on to this city for at least the better part of this game, but finally they will be colliding and losing casualties in the process. It's going to be Ghost Gaming left with 1 member alive, Balak under fire, just trying to avoid these shots.
Duke could survive. At least it's the advantage of being able to hold inside the building. You've got the choke point, so the numbers don't matter as much. We almost go like full like Leonidas style here. The circle is still coming in. Tempo Storm actually love their position they've managed to take in the northern side of the circle. This is away from the mess that is on the way. That's Knights, that's FaZe, FaZe, as well as Cloud9, who just own that northwestern corner. The corner's getting pretty tight. Vanguard actually got really lucky because they've actually gone at this 2-2 split. But M19 haven't pushed it. They're waiting on the edge of the circle before they come in. Same as we're actually seeing this situation, MVP and WTSG. WTSG outside the circle, not where they want to be. Vard, the man on your screen, is the only one who's really in, but it's MVP controlling the vehicles, and this is a very slow movement to get into the zone. Yeah, in fact, MVP are going the long way around.
I mean, exactly. These 2 teams have been engaged on one another for the better part of this game, and so recognizing that the rotation paths are pretty much going to be lining up with one another, MVP just trying to do whatever they can to get out of Welcome to South George's way. Youngtan and Pang do not want any more engagements until the late game.
Yeah. It's also because that western side is such a shooting range. Moving up, like WTSG are finding it right now. Vard was moving in and Baja Waka let off a couple of shots. And yeah, this is that open area. In fact, Baja Waka, this is aggressive. He is just pushing. He wants to own the dirt road. And kind of exposes him, but Vard has found his own little path up and away. The circle, again, shifts the way of Liquid, shifts the way of Tempo Storm and enters. It is a northeast shove.
Yeah, this is the Liquid circle if I've ever seen one. They are holding such a dominant hold on the eastern side of things. But welcome to South Georgia in the blue zone now, just trying to do whatever they can to get out of dodge, sending out a lot of return fire in Optics direction. But they're going to have to do something here because Gaxi and Miracu are certainly some threats.
Yeah, they have some lines of sight. As, well, Baja Waka, finally Miracle will actually get the knock on him. You want to be aggressive. Vard will be the man you can clean up this hill. And Optic, they probably are not going to be ready for it. And in fact, that's exactly what happens. Vard clipping Hypoc on the top. Leaves Hetra as the last one down the hill. The Knights are rotating in as well. They're having some problems getting gunned down. Liquid already very well established inside the circle. But Vard, that last grenade, is this actually going to be the end of, again, Baja Waka? Yep, it's another knockdown. Hetra thought he just dealt with this problem. A secondary grenade coming in, but Baja Waka far enough up the hill, but he's ticking out so quickly, and that is WTSG. Catching a break, getting inside the circle, and claiming 5 kills, eliminating Optic in 16th position.
Yeah, Hetero, the saving grace of Optic in our qualifying round. The player that was able to push them into the finals, not able to repeat it here. Cloud9, though, going to be looking up the hill on top of Method, just trying to avoid these shots. All 4 members of Cloud9 using this solo shack. A lone shack, not much cover to hide behind, but enough for them in the meantime. We saw Pang dropped out, leaving just Youngtan as the only member of MVP to push on.
Yeah, but he can actually stay behind. Like, he'll have to run the blue circle. They all have to start just running at the moment. Chewy, no part of this town is inside the zone. And the positions you saw from Method previously, goodbye, Vanguard. Genji left their regards a long time ago. Okay, WTSG. You know what? The break that they caught, it's broken.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, these guys, Gaxi and Miracu, we saw them in the blue zone just trying to hold back and trying to get some damage out on the Optic, but it ends up hurting them here. M19 wrapping around that western edge, the southwestern edge, going to be catching them out. Method
going for a nice, or a very fast run into the compound. Miracu, well, he tried to do his own run. That leaves Vard as the sole survivor for WTSG. He was going for a lot longer run up around the back of FaZe. See him on the far side of your screen. Cloud9 having a couple of problems. Tempo Storm in a good compound as Method claiming a beats. They will put him down the whole way. Yeah, and that puts Method in a very strong position inside the circle.
Yeah, it really does. That was Ibiza's 3rd knock of the game, and with how spread out Liquid was, there was really no help going to be coming his direction, which gives Method a very strong compound here in one of our late game circles. But all around the map, 4AM and Gen G are about to be colliding.
Yeah, Liquid actually was split in a 2-1-1 position. Jeem just moved all the way down. It was goodbye Vard. Looks like Tempo Storm were able to catch him out before he reached FaZe. And finally to Cloud9 putting down Youngtan. So teams dropping like flies. We're down to 12. The nades from Wicked can't reach over to 4AM just yet. Needs a stronger arm.
So many of these teams are congregating towards the southern end of the circle, and this is a product of how many teams were actually on the southern part of Miramar to start out the game, given that very steep plane path that we were looking at. But Sims and Gen G going to continue to rain out Hellfire from their position, this time spotting out Cloud9.
Run, Moody, but the shots are too good. Simpson finds his target. K-Mine gets something back, however. Simpson's very lucky to still be standing. Has no helmet left and wants to move in. The cycle is finishing its constriction. And welcome to Phase 5. Anyone outside, which does include Genji, they still have 2 players. Now 1 player in the blue are going to tick really hard and really fast. Yes. I know Loki is that the wait until the very last moment guy, but that's still a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough rotation from all of our teams down in the southern side of things. I mean, look how many teams have to rotate up from this position. And with M19 rolling up on top of FaZe, Yempty just trying to get those meds off, trying to recover from whatever engagement he was previously in. And it looks like for the time being, M19 going to continue on along this southwestern side of the circle, but off of the position where FaZe is currently holding.
This is actually really cool for FaZe. Now, they're taking fire from a long way away. That's Entus just sort of getting involved. But with Tempo Storm and M19, now clashing heads, FaZe can potentially come in and snake some of the backline. They hear the shots and they're coming over too. This will be a very hard breach for M19. Tempo Storm, they're tucked in like a tick, but they are losing with a little bit, with Maluk already being knocked out. They've got to be careful. Zampar's going for the vertical nades, trying to hold back M19, buying time for Maluk to get back into some relative safety, and even actually getting a couple of knocks in there's FaZe. Jempty backstabbing in, and he's already found one, ensures the kill onto Example.
Yeah, Jempty's such an aggressive player, and this is him playing it out right now, but he's going to be spotted out immediately from Elite player. M19 going to be countering off this third-party push from FaZe as Mixie continues to try to look around and see if he can spot any of the members of M19 or Tempo Storm.
Oh, he really wanted to help out. The grenades are flying in from the rest of FaZe, but it's the fact that Entus is just watching all this happen from such a long way away. They can't just move quite freely in the open and go for these quick and easy rotations. Elite player was at least knocked. And M19, they're split between 2 places. Which fight do they want, Tempo Storm or FaZe?
I don't think M19 wants any of these fights. I mean, their play style is pretty much try to get into these end-game circles without having to engage, without trying to, or without losing too much in the process. But that is not going to be the case here. M19 has to do something to get out of this sticky situation.
Well, goodbye, Vanguard. Gen G, they're under 5, but still could stop for a second to knock down Diaz. It's never-ending compound battle. So FaZe are quite happy. They're in some good positions. They can see out a very long way. It's Tempo Storm and M19 who are worried about somebody pushing out. But the winners of their circle are still Entis. By far.
Absolutely.
Like, Liquid have all condensed themselves up to the northeast, but it's Entis who hold the north, and it will be very hard to take it from them.
Yeah, Entis knows it too, based off of their positioning, using that 2-2 split. But back here on this compound, the 3-team engagement. I mean, 4 a.m. going to be wrapping around this eastern side of the circle, trying to work their way in, but they have to deal with Knights.
With some good grenades, Knights will be in trouble. They've only got this small shack. It's a little bit of cover. They're throwing in the Molotovs. Here comes the grenades. 4 a.m. lighting it up, and Knights kind of locked in a place of their own creation. Vitality will go out intense, but Knights, they're on fire for the moment. There goes Yannick too, Forever pushing in close. Voxic already going to drop. Texas and Drayden. Drayden's preparing the grenade. Toss it around the side, but it won't stop Forever from just going through. Mow him down. Drayden, he bounced to the other side. He's hidden inside the smoke. They don't see him yet. Godv walks right over the top of his fingers.
Another smoke coming out. Drayden just trying to create whatever concealment he can in this area. Drayden, he's been an incredible player over the course of these games. We saw him have a beautiful 1v3 in our Erangel matches, but can he do it here? He's right on top of the members of 4
So much noise. He's copping a couple of bullets now, low on life. But they still don't see him. This smoke is a little bit thicker than what you're seeing at the moment. A lot of fire going off. He prepares another smoke. Godv being knocked. Drayden's actually going to try and first aid underneath them with the fresh smoke. Now, do they see him? They don't. They're still walking around on top of him. He's preparing another grenade. Scoom's trying to do something about this, shooting from such long range. But Drayden, Long, the grenade's right on top of Drayden. Goodbye. Nowhere survived that. Long will be knocked out as well. It's Liquid Jeems with a long ball.
And Jeems throwing that grenade, when he saw what happened in the kill feed, he has got to be asking his team, what the heck just happened there? And certainly 4 a.m. needed to be asking themselves, why is the smoke lasting so long? It's because Drayden was lying down prone right next to you, continuing to throw out that concealment.
With a push, but Wicked and Loki, too good with the combination. Now X-Chris, he's going to do something back for his team, but will it be enough? It's just X-Chris left. All 3 players knocked down, make it all 4. Genji. They wipe out Method, and they'll be able to recover. Just Loki and Wicked doing it strong.
Yeah, now Liquid continuing to put out the pressure on the 4 a.m. Jeems started off the battle with a huge grenade, just trying to see if he can spot out Forever. Godv going to be knocked down, leaving just 1 player for 4 a.m. to push on.
Sampy had the audacity to peek twice just then. Scoom is in the middle of, well, nowhere. So Fuzzface will claim him in just a bit. Sampy, goodbye. Actually, Forever. Just kind of hoping for the steal if he can get it.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to. The mini 14 shots ringing true, and actually, yeah,
died
there
to the
it
blue.
is.
Well, goodbye, Liquid. They thought they had a great position, but with that circle shifting to the southwest, it actually ended up favoring these teams who've been battling so hard around this damn compound. Grenades flying in with a flashbang. Now, this is a good crossfire set up by M19. So Maluk will drop down for the rest of Tempo Storm. Breach in and M19 eliminated in 6th position. Another good round for Tempo Storm, and they could finally focus on FaZe.
Yeah, Tempo Storm needs to recover quickly, though, because FaZe heard this. They know that action was popping off and that casualties were had. So whether or not they try to mop up Tempo Storm, we'll have to wait and see. But OG and Entis, the dominant force from that northern position, going to be wrapping around the eastern side of the circle, just trying to flush out any threats.
This is actually a cool place for OGN to cross, because they've got the defilade to work with. So it was almost impossible for any of the teams in the southwest to see their approach coming. Of course, once they get over the defilade, that won't be as fun, but the circle is on them, so they're the ones with a better position. Mirror will poke his head up. He's got a couple of trees to work with, but Tempo Storm, Genji, as well as FaZe, we have to see a little bit of a shift.
Oh, yeah. All of these teams have lost so much trying to get to this point in the game, but OGN, the only team with 4 players alive, Mirror with the M24, spotting out the members of FaZe now.
Trying to go for that nice cheeky shot underneath the trailer. And, a little bit too preemptive.
Pretty much OGN just has to face off against whatever team is able to make it off of that southwestern position. It's going to be all-out war here in just a matter of seconds, as the blue zone will start to shrink in about 20 seconds.
I actually like this Wicked position. Like this point from like Tempo Storm, grenades are flying. Like they seem to be too worried about FaZe, but the better position is actually where Genji is. They've got the ridge line. They've got the cover. You see down near Fuzzface, it's just an open, barren field. Everyone needs to take that ridge line where Genji, as well as Entis, are currently fighting, well, not even fighting over. They're just sitting there occupying the territory.
Yeah, with all this commotion now starting to pop off between Tempo Storm and FaZe, it's going to be giving OG and Entis exactly the information they need to continue to wrap around. We see
Gustav. Oh, he was actually going to go for the res on a Fuzzface. Knockdown himself. They're coming into the smoke, trying to hide at least around the back of that rock they have, but Gustav gets finished off. Entus get involved. They've come up over the hill, and they've said hi.
Yeah, with how small this circle is, all Entus has to do is continue to peek over these hills every so often and try to capitalize on whatever they can. And there is Zampa wiping out Mixie and Fuzzface, knocking out FaZe in 4th position. How do
you play this now, Genji? Loki is currently sitting in a small little hovel. Sion Young, he's able to get those couple of shots off towards BenQ5. Is making Tempo Storm think twice about pushing in a little bit harder as Loki just claims his head. He wants Maluk too, but Maluk peeks him better. BenQ5 may have a harder time. Zampar's going to take the biggest bullet that's currently on this field. It's called a truck.
It's called a truck and send it flying. Maluk just trying to dodge these other bullets on the map. Able to get behind a little bit of Deflate as Yak continues to try to get these lines of sight. But Wicked now, Gen G going to be rotating into OG and Entus. Chris is going to be dropped almost immediately.
Zemper actually made it. He made it down to the face body, so that's a little bit of extra loot for him to at least play with as the circle once again moves towards Entus as Yak drops and completely finishes Maluk.
Entus is really positioning themselves now to take away the first place finish here in game number 3 of the day. All they have to do is worry about those 2 solo threats from Tempo Storm and Gen G. But this is Entus wrapping around, trying to deal with Gen G's Wicked. He's prone. Will they be able to spot him out, though, before he gets the shots? And there it is. Easy peasy. Mirror going to be wiping out Gen G's Wicked and Gen G out in 3rd place.
Roadkill time. Roadkill time. That's how you can play this. He's going a long, long way around, spinning out the car and then almost completely stationary, not what he wants to do.
Yeah, just repositioning themselves. But I mean, this is all the information Entus needs. They have 3 players alive. They're going to be looking right down on top of him. And here comes the flank, holding one position in the center, sending out the other 2 players, Sean, Jang, and Yak, to wash out Zampa. But Zampa, he's an incredible shot. We saw him with some beautiful flicks on Miramar day 1 of the finals. Can he repeat it here?
He's not inside the circle though, so we can't just sit here safely. Smokes up the other side so he can focus on Yak, but Yak doesn't even want to get properly involved. That's why the long toss grenade down right next to Zampa goes a little bit too far, however, so no damage into Zampa. In fact, he's managed to crawl just far enough up that he doesn't really feel it now. Preparing his own grenade. That's an underarm throw. Don't think that was really what he intended to do with the actual grenade. And Yak, he's got the vision and gets the victory. Entus, terrific round for them. 7 kills to their name. And they have been absolutely stellar throughout this entire finals. And, well, the trend is continuing.
The trend is continuing. That's going to be propelling them up the leaderboards with that first place finish. And I'm kind of excited to see how much OGN can climb, how high they can push that top leaderboard point count to climb and try to solidify a first place hold leading into day number 4. But
that will put them in first.
Oh,
that
100%.
Secures the first.
100%. But their movement, their plays, their strategy was so calculated and precise that really, if they didn't walk away with that finish, I would have been a little bit upset.
I think they would have been upset too. They did get the good circles, but then the push-up, that whole compound just chaos that was created. M19 and Tempo Storm and FaZe. This 3-way fight, Gen G on the side. It was like they were...